welcome to Practical Talk Time. I'm your host, Usha Kumar. Today, I have with me a very dear friend, Helga Duethorn, who's here to tell us about how to spend time while traveling in Germany. Hello, Helga. How are you?
Hello, Usha.
So happy to have you here today.
Well, it's nice for me to be here.
From the time I met you, I've been so impressed by all your experience having traveled worldwide. Not just traveling to places just to be a tourist, but you've actually lived there in many countries. And so it's my great pleasure to have you here so you can share some of your knowledge with our viewers.
Well, let's start with Germany. That's where I was born, and that's where I spent some time, I would think.
Yeah.
And Americans are always fascinated by Germany. Many have had roots from Germany. Very often when they hear my name, Helga Duethorn, oh, my grandmother comes from Germany. So I think it would be nice to explore for Americans how to go back to discover the roots in Germany. And Danbury itself had at one point a relatively large German community. That's why you have a section called Germantown.
Yeah, I have traveled to Germany a couple of times, and having been there, I know that it was so different from what I expected it to be. You expect Germany to be all the very stiff and proper and whatever, but when I went there, the people were quite loving and they were wonderful hosts and hostesses. So I want to know how we should plan a trip. If it's just a family, what should someone do?
Well, Germany is a relatively small country. It's about the size of Montana nowadays. And you have 82 million people. It is a highly densely populated country. Depending on what you want to do, you can spend vacation in the summer along the ocean. We have relatively short shoreline. We are not so...
So your shoreline is in the north?
In the north.
Yeah.
And the northern part of Germany is relatively flat, and it rises steadily upward all the way down to the very south, the Alpine region, which is Bavaria and Swabia and the Black Forest area. That's the very south of Germany.
And the shores are what, Baltic Sea and
the Baltic
North
Sea on the east and the north. The Baltic Sea is actually an inland sea. It's not the open ocean. The open ocean is the North Sea, and it gets fed from all the way from over here by the Gulf Stream.
From the Atlantic Ocean.
From the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. And we do have, in the summer, a lot of traffic to the ocean. However, a lot of Americans do like to go to the southern region of Bavaria, the Black Forest, because it's sort of the poster child of Germany. But what I would like to recommend to people is to spend time and not rush through it. Look behind the door, look into a garden, go off the beaten path.
Mm-hmm. Most tourists travel all over Europe at once. They pick 5 countries, they go to France and Italy and Switzerland and Germany. You know the routine, tour operators take people through all these countries in 2 weeks or 3 weeks' time, just spending a few days in each country.
Well, I think it's a good introduction to see Europe. But if you really want to see and learn about a country, I think you should spend more time in one place. And so why not spend a vacation in Germany?
If someone wants to spend a vacation somewhere in Europe, they want a fun place to be, okay? So can you point us towards the fun places?
Well, it all depends. If you travel with children, you need to have activities for them. Young people may want to do totally different things if they are teenagers, etc. A very popular thing, especially with children of all ages, are the castles.
I see. Oh, you have a lot of castles
We
there?
have lots of castles, and there's actually, a castle road.
Is this like a trip, just showing castles?
It is a route, and you can sign up on the internet and look it up. It's about 1,000 kilometers, so that's around 800 miles. And it goes from east to west or west to east. And
Along the middle of the country? Or
pretty much
south?
in the middle of the country. And it features a lot of the castles. And depending on your pocketbook, you can maybe even sleep in one. That's another possibility of making it exciting by choosing where you stay.
Oh,
You can have, if you stay a little longer, you would have to probably spend a couple of days, have a farm stay, be on a farm. You could go to an inn, or we have also accommodations that are like our bed and breakfast here. They're not as cute and quaint maybe, but they're usually very well located. They're very reasonable. They all come always with a shower, your own shower and bathroom. And they're very local, so you get a lot of local information that you would not necessarily find in a guidebook.
so how does one go about booking one of these? I mean,
If you're adventurous enough, very often you don't even need to have much pre-time arrangement.
Oh.
Both my husband and I, when we travel, we are very spontaneous, and we have done it fairly successfully in all parts of the world. Unless it's a real big holiday where people travel, you usually have no trouble finding room and board.
okay.
And there, one tool that is fantastic is the internet.
Yeah.
And they show the sites, they have pictures. So you can look up the map and pick out what particular interests you. There are places, for instance, also that you may want to visit with children. We have in Germany a Legoland. We have in the area outside of Nuremberg a beautiful place from Playmobil. That's a toy factory, and the toys are known to many Americans if they have small children.
Of course.
Grandparents know that too.
Where exactly is Nuremberg for?
Nuremberg is in the state of Bavaria, and that state is in the south. And Nuremberg is relative to Munich, which a lot of people know about.
Yeah, we had the Olympic Games there.
Well, Munich, yes, but Nuremberg is north of Munich,
Okay.
about an hour and a half by car.
Okay.
It's an old medieval town. It offers a lot of beautiful sights, beautiful museums, but on the outskirts there is this place for children, and it's fantastic.
Okay.
Young and old enjoy it.
And what would be a fun tour for young honeymooners?
Well, I think most honeymooners would like the nice scenery in the Alpine region or the Black Forest area, maybe a romantic cruise along the Rhine River. That could also be nice.
And you have your
And you-
rivers flowing north-south, right?
Well,
or south, north? Which way does it go?
Some go the other way. The Danube goes all the way through Austria and Hungary, and you can board the Danube and go to Austria, another nice destination. If you go along the Rhine, it goes into the North Sea.
Okay.
It meanders from the south of Germany all the way through the wine country.
Where is the wine country there?
The wine country along the Rhine River would be basically all the way from the Alsace and Black Forest area all the way up towards Cologne. And
Alsace is what? Is a mountain area or it's a country?
Alsace is a part of France and is the western border along the Rhine. The Rhine River is the border towards France on the west side.
Yeah. Okay.
And like so many parts of that area in Germany, it has traded back and forth. When Napoleon rushes through, German part may become French, and when the Germans flex their muscles, it may become German again. But the borders now is the Rhine, and Alsace on one side is French, and on the other you go across the bridge and you're in another country.
I see.
It's that is the beauty of Europe. It's small, that you can just go across the bridge and have a taste of something else.
And you have a different language.
A different language,
altogether.
but no different currency anymore, which makes
have
travel
the-
so much
you
more
have the
easy.
euro.
We have the
Yeah.
euro.
And we also have the visa that's now Schengen visa.
Yes.
So it becomes easier to travel.
You should have all that, and any good travel agent will supply you with that. But to pin out a route, it would be good for you to be flexible. For instance, if you plan to go to Germany, if you want to start in the south, it's easy to fly directly to Munich. If you want to start along the Rhine Valley, you may want to fly to Düsseldorf and head south from Düsseldorf. Frankfurt is very often a destiny that is mentioned. However, it is one huge airport, and I think for a traveler who has a little bit more time, it is a nicer introduction to Germany to go to one of the smaller places.
For me, Frankfurt was my first destination there in Germany. But then subsequently we went to Munich and other smaller places, Cologne.
Well,
But that was about 30 years ago, 35 years ago, I think. Things must have changed a lot now.
well, the castles are still the same, the ruins are still the same, the cooking is pretty much still the same. The population changes, of course. We have now 1.7 million Turkish people living in Germany.
And who are the other Lithuanians? I mean, who are the other?
Well, we had different
minority
waves.
groups.
We had different waves of immigrants. Germany has always had a good industrial base, and because it does have sometimes a shortage of workers, we do actually bring people in to help us produce what Germany is known for. And so we also have at the moment a lot of Russians in Germany.
Yeah, I plan to ask you a lot about those, about the economy and the industrialization, the immigration, all in our next segment.
Okay.
And so those of you who are watching at home, be sure to also tune into our next segment that will give you all that information. So for the time being, we are talking about travel in Germany. And so we talked about locations or destinations for children and for honeymooners.
Well, another thing is it's also very good for seniors to travel and choose the time, like the spring. May is a very nice month in Germany. A very good month is also to travel in September. It's off season, and you have a lot of fairs, country fairs. everybody is, of
That
course.
is when? In September?
In September.
September, okay. And the weather is good too at the time?
Most often the weather is good. The weather can be a little bit chancy in Germany, but then if you have not made prior arrangements, if you just travel a little bit more freely in every sense of the way, you can just hop on a train and go a little further south.
I see.
Because the weather can change between north and south quite quickly. So if you really have a rainy period in the north, most likely
Just drive south.
yes.
An
head
hour
south.
and a half or so, and you're in better climate.
It's like sometimes here in Danbury, south of 84, the weather is one way, and north of 84, it's another way.
Yeah. Actually, I want to know about the seniors and their travel, because whenever I traveled recently, I found more seniors from America traveling anywhere in the world. I think it's because they have the money and the time, I guess.
Well, that is not only true of Americans, it's also true of Germans, and they're all over the place. And Germany has always, as a population, worked towards the free time. They love their vacations, and
much
they
vacation
do
do they
take it. It depends a little bit on what industry you're in, but you can get up to 6 weeks paid vacation.
6 weeks.
Up
Isn't
to
that
6 weeks.
wonderful?
Now, not everybody gets that, but you can, and you have quite liberal benefits in some areas, but they're cutting back on those too. Coming back to the seniors, one of the things you should know is that also in eating habits, we cater in Germany towards serving senior portions. And you can ask at any restaurant to have a senior portion, and it will be
What
just
is
a
that?
little smaller
Okay.
and less expensive.
Oh,
And
that is good.
you never overeat that way. Also, if you don't like it, what you ordered, it's not much of a deal.
You can order something else.
And the seniors also in public transportation have usually areas where they have preferred seating. Like if you get on a bus, the front of the bus usually has 2 or 3 seats for seniors.
And do they get discount tickets?
It's maybe not as widely used as in this country.
Okay.
If you were to get, for instance, a senior ticket on the train, you would have to get it for the whole year or
I
so.
see.
It's not on a per trip basis.
Okay.
Now, one thing one should also consider is whether you want to travel by train or by car. Car rentals are available everywhere. The Autobahn system is known throughout the world.
Driving there, I had the experience of driving there. My only problem was reading the signs. I know there were some signs that were all in diagrams, so it was easier to follow. But then there were some things that I could barely read.
Can I be a little bit naughty? When you go on the Autobahn, the entrance is the Einfahrt,
Yeah.
and the exit is the Ausfahrt. And most Americans are very amused by that.
By the the terminology, yes.
Yes, but when you do travel like anywhere else in the world, you have to familiarize yourself a little bit with the traffic signs. That is just normal. The most important thing on the Autobahn is to be careful. The German driver is, especially on the Autobahn, with his Mercedes or BMW or Audi, a very aggressive driver, and they like to drive fast. Now, good portions have speed limits, and in town you have speed limits. Certainly all towns have speed limits. But it is the dream of many Americans to drive on the Autobahn and just go full blast.
It was quite an experience driving in the Autobahn, and it was quite an experience driving in the countryside. and in small towns. And when my husband and I stopped here and there, to ask for directions or ask for something, some of the people there could not speak in English. Whereas in the cities, everybody knew English.
Yes.
In the cities and in the hotels and all,
Yes.
that was not a problem. But if you go out on the street in a small countryside road.
But you can get now cars also with GPS, so, 30 years later, it's different.
I guess.
And
what about the food?
let me just come back to the driving. An important thing is when you are driving on the Autobahn, even if you have 3 lanes, don't pass on the left, on the right. Always pass on the left, go back to the right.
Okay.
The passing is not done like here you can pass on either side.
Yeah.
That is a no-no. And the population is not used to it. So that can cause easily an accident. So always remember to pass on the left.
Okay. But otherwise it's good. We drive on the same side of the road. Unlike UK or India, for that matter.
Yes. Well, there are many other places where you
we
drive.
probably have only 8 more minutes to go. So let's
you want
talk
to
about
comment a little bit about the food?
or are there any other tours, other than the castle tour and the
Well, there is
Castle Road
one
and-
that goes through medieval towns, and that is good to start from Frankfurt. It's called the Romantic Street or Romantic Road, and it goes through small towns that are really treasure chests that are from medieval times. They had not been disturbed by wars, and they are just perfect as they always were. And they have very nice accommodations. Some have excellent 5-star restaurants. If you are into food, there are some of the best known restaurants along those roads. And it is also an area where you have then certain celebrations, reenactments of certain festivities that date back years and years. But in order to inform yourself when they happen, and sometimes they only happen every 4 years or so, you would have to find out from the tourist office. And you can go and click on Germany Tourism.de, which is Deutschland.de, and you can get all the information you want on special tours, and it is the official German website.
how does one try to find out how Germans live? If you want to go there and see how they live and what they eat, really,
Well,
not what is served in the 5-star restaurant.
That is stay away from the big hotels. Don't go to a Marriott or a Novotel. Go to smaller places. Go to an inn. The inn is where the farmers go and they have their own table and they play cards in there, and they may be a little boisterous. But if you show a little bit of an interest, or if you look at something and hesitate a little bit, somebody will always come to help you.
Oh, I see. If you can show some of the pictures in terms of food, all the variety that you have there.
Well, one of the big things is the regional difference. We have along the coast a lot of beautiful fish to eat. Inland, you don't find that much of the seafood. We do have more freshwater fish. You get trout almost everywhere. Then we have a lot of cold cuts. And Germany has sections in every town. There's a butcher shop, and at that butcher's shop, it's like a deli. You can walk in and you can have a roll cut open and put any one of the cold cuts that they show on it. And they have microwave ovens. They heat something for you.
And which places are these?
The
Just
butcher shop.
Just a butcher shop. But you can get a real sandwich with everything, whatever you want.
Whatever. Now, another thing is we have these beautiful signs when you walk through town. Look along the houses. This, for instance, is a wrought iron sign, and it points a pretzel that is a bakery. So if you find a bakery, go in there and look around. They may have donuts, they have fresh apple tarts, they have fresh strawberry cakes.
Oh, lovely. Mouth watering already.
So we don't have delis as you have in the States. We have restaurants, we have beer gardens in the summer on a hot day.
Yeah, I thought that, Germany meant all beer drinkers. But
No,
then I was surprised to hear that you
but
have wine
along
country.
the wine country, you have festivals that are dedicated to the wine. There's actually a queen for the wine.
Yeah.
And every region has its own specialty. The Black Forest area, Baden-Württemberg, is a very smooth, sweet, almost sweet wine.
And that is also your spa area, right?
Well, spas you have throughout Germany,
Really?
and that if somebody really wants to get away and get a massage and a good time, go to a spa. There are many wellness places now, and the waters of Germany, either to drink some, however, are difficult to drink because they're foul smelling.
Oh, God. We
But-
only have about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
So I want to tell our viewers, a little bit about your beaches and what one can expect there.
The North Country has a lot of coastline, and there we have, of course, beautiful beaches. The only thing I would forewarn Americans is that they look out. We do have beaches where people can go totally naked, and they're usually marked. But we are a little bit freer with the body overall. So the men wear really short, skimpy little swim trunks. The women sometimes go without a top.
With that, I guess we are out of time, but thank you so much,
Well,
Helga.
I hope you
People
go
can
and
think
see
about-
different things in Germany.
Yes.
Visit and have fun.
Thank you very much, and all of you watching there, thank you all. Until next time, goodbye.